So, I'm admitting it, this video is so fucking late, and I apologize for that. There's a lot that's been going on with me, but better late than never. I'm here today to show the stuff I got from Record Store Day that was, as of this filming, I want to say a week and a half ago? I don't even remember. So I have stuff that I got from Record Store Day, and a couple other CDs that I got that are semi-directly, indirectly to Record Store Day. I don't know what you want to call it. I'm just going to show them to you anyways, because I got a lot of music since Record Store Day. I spent $82 on stuff on Record Store Day, which is roughly double the amount I spend whenever I go to Amoeba. I usually spend, if you can't do math, about 40 bucks. Spent 82 this time on, I got 7 CDs and I got a couple movies for a special somebody. You know who you are. But I'm going to show the CDs I got and then some. So, without further ado, we have the first stack of the Record Store Day stuff. First off, we got Neil Young's album. This is Tonight's the Night, excuse me. I heard about this album. I was reading a book on Wilco, and they mentioned that the former band that Jeff Tweedy of Wilco was in, Uncle Tupelo, said that this album was a huge influence on the band, and I love Uncle Tupelo to death, as much as I've probably explained it. But I figured if this was an influence on Uncle Tupelo, then this is probably one that's worth listening to. I have a couple of Neil Young songs on my iPod already, and I love his stuff, so I figured why not give this one a try. Alright, next on the list, we went to the punk section. This is a band called Rapeman. This is a guy by the name of Steve Albany's second band. He was in a band called Big Black, which they're one of the early pioneers of the industrial rock genre. They were known for having 2 guitarists and a bassist, and the drummer was actually a drum kit, so they didn't actually have a live drummer. And because of that, they really had a significant influence on the industrial rock genre. But they were really noisy. They had really buzzsaw-like guitars. And so after Big Black, Steve Albany got a new band, and this was their album, Rapeman. I think this was the only album that they made, but this also contains an EP that they did. The album's called 2 Nuns and a Pack Mule. I really love Big Black. I just like the noise rock genre. So I assume that this is going to be a lot like Big Black, but just with live drums. So that should be pretty cool. I'm really excited to listen to that. I've listened to some of this stuff, not all of it. I haven't really gotten into a lot of this deeply, but next on the list, we have a Mogwai album. I have a lot of Mogwai already. I bought practically every album of theirs digitally. And I kind of got this for 2 reasons. One, because I don't have this album. But the other reason is because I don't have any Mogwai, like physical Mogwai. And this was a cheap album. And I figured, why the hell not? It's their second album. I love Mogwai to death. Their music is phenomenal. Really huge in the post-rock world. So I got this. And I actually listened to this a little bit in the car. Cody and Punk Rock are the 2 songs in the beginning. And I really dug them. So I'm really excited to take a deeper look into that. Next on the list is the Flaming Lips. Now, I was watching a video on Amoeba's channel. They do a show, What's in My Bag, where a bunch of famous musicians go to Amoeba and shop and show what they got. Sort of like what I'm doing, but I'm not a famous musician. I'm just a dude in his car showing music. But they did, one of the guys from Flaming Lips, oh my god, I can't talk. One of the guys from Flaming Lips, and they were playing one of the songs from this album, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. A notification came on my phone here. Go away. I really enjoyed it, and I found out this was the album, and the song's called Be Free Away, and I already have the Soft Bulletin and Yoshimi, and those are really melodic albums. This one is really experimental, ambient, electronic-y. It's just really out there. Also, one of the songs has Phantogram in it. I love Phantogram to death. I saw them live. Phenomenal musicians. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. The album cover is so cool. That was one of the things that was super appealing to this, was the album cover. So, also very excited to be listening to that later. This one I kind of went on a limb on. So I've heard of this band. This is the Jesus and Mary Chain. I've heard a little bit about them. I don't know anything of them. I know they kind of do a noisy pop sound. They're an 80s band. I think it was Just Like Honey that I heard, and I actually dug it, and so I went out on a limb and just bought the album for the hell of it, just to try it out. I haven't even touched this album yet, so this one's going to be really cool to listen to. But yeah, so classic 80s bands, noisy. As I said earlier, I like noise stuff, so this should be cool. And then I went to the jazz section, so these are the last two selections I got at Amoeba. First in the jazz section, I got a Miles Davis album. This is his album Milestones. Once again, referencing What's in My Bag by the Amoeba guys. I heard a song of theirs. Someone had gotten this album. I think it was either Dr. Jackal or Sid's Ahead. I can't remember which one. But I liked its sound, and I have a Miles Davis album already. I have his Birth of the Cool, and I really dug it. And so I got this partly because I really like Birth of the Cool, and then also because my dad would appreciate this album. I figured he and I could listen to this together. And last but not least, in the jazz section, I got a Duke Ellington and John Coltrane collaboration album. Now, Duke Ellington, for those who don't know, is huge in the world of jazz. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. He is just so influential in that world. And John Coltrane, another huge guy, fantastic saxophone player. You got two of these guys making one album. I mean, what more can you want? I couldn't. I had to get this. In a Sentimental Mood is a beautiful track. And if all the songs in this album are like that, then I'm so excited to hear the rest. And now that I think about it, I think I'm going to look at the liner notes in here. Yeah, so John Coltrane's in this album too. So John Coltrane provides some of the saxophone playing in this album, and another guy by the name of Cannonball Adderley, who's another famous jazz musician, he's on this. So there's a lot of big stars in this one. So those are my 7 CDs I got from Amoeba. Now the next couple of records I got after Amoeba. So in preparation for Record Store Day, Amoeba decided to be cheeky and give out a coupon code that took 15% off whatever you were buying off their website. So I had to take advantage of that. I always do. I hate and love that they do that. But with that 15%, I bought 3 albums. The first two are actually by the same band. This is Sun Volt. Now, I cannot get enough of Wilco and Uncle Tupelo and all that. So when Uncle Tupelo split up, Jeff Tweedy formed Wilco, and the other guy, Jay Farrar, formed Sun Volt. And Sun Volt took the alternative country genre and just kept running with it. Meanwhile, Wilco eventually stepped away from it. But I'm slowly but surely collecting all of Sun Volt's records now that I have all of Wilco's stuff. I really do like the alternative country genre, and Jay Farrar has a fantastic voice. I have both of his solo records. So slowly but surely I'll get all of Sun Volt's, but this one is his second album, and then this one, I don't even remember. It's a later record of theirs, but I just figured I'd pick them up. They were cheap, and I got them discount price. And the last one of the discount whatever, this is Eluvium. Now, this is really ambient stuff. It's just dreamlike. It's beautiful. It's fantastic music. This is stuff that you could just fall asleep to and just be in complete peace. I listen to this sometimes when I'm reading and when I'm studying, which is tough for me to listen to music when I'm reading and I'm trying to get the information in because I'm so distracted by vocals or whatever else of the song. But this stuff is really good study music. It's stuff you can just have on in the background and you kind of just grow accustomed to it. It just is there. But also just taking a moment to actually process the music. It's fantastic stuff. So I had to buy this record. I had downloaded it, listened to it, and I said, you know, this guy, he deserves my money. He absolutely deserves my money. This is a fantastic record. This is Talk Amongst the Trees, for those of you who are interested in looking it up. And last but certainly not least, I was wanting to get this because this album, this is Built to Spill's newest album. I was hoping that Amoeba would have this at Record Store Day because it came out, I think, 2 or 3 days after Record Store Day. As far as I know, they had it on vinyl at Amoeba, but I have a turntable, but I love CDs to death, and I really wanted this on CD, and I don't think they had it, but I waited, and it came out, and so my friend Kai, love you to death, she got me into Built to Spill. She bought me their live album, which is tremendous, is absolutely tremendous, worth listening to, but I have that, and I have another album of theirs. I fell for them, and they were coming out with this one, and I listened to a preview. I think it was Living Zoo, which was the first single they released, and I loved it to death, so I had to buy the album. And so far, I've only listened to the first 2 or 3 tracks, and it's really good. These guys are fantastic musicians. Vocals are really unique. One of my friends told me that reminded him of a lot of REM, or a lot like REM's vocalist, just less whiny. No offense to you. I love you, REM. But yeah, so Built to Spill, love you guys to death. And that concludes the records I got. Now, I'm probably going to do